Hey y'all, I'm back. So this is story time on how my dead dog got me several thousands of dollars, okay? So I was debating whether I wanted to go public with this. I'm a private person, and to be honest, I wasn't gonna say anything about it, but God kept nudging me to go ahead and say something about it so he can get the glory out of the situation. So I figured I'd tell you how my dead dog got me several thousands of dollars. Okay, so this what happened. Okay, so um I was about to move from the last place that I stayed at, right? And in everything that I do, I acknowledge God in all my ways so he can direct my path, right? So I was coming up on the end of my lease and I was looking for another place to stay, and I found the house that I wanted. And humbly, I can get whatever I want, because I got good credit, good income. I graduated from FAMU, you know what I'm saying? And so I knew I qualified. So I went ahead and I applied for the place. When I went to go view the house to make sure everything was in par, so I brought my dog with me and I was like, ma'am, I'm disabled. And this is my service animal, like a real deal registered service animal, right? And I showed her the paperwork and everything to show that this is a registered. I went to go grab this to show y'all that he's a registered service animal. So anyway, like I was saying, so I had brought my little baby with me to view the house with the leasing agent, or the showing agent. It was a beautiful house, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want any other house in my area. They said that they didn't want any pets, right? And so if you know anything about the law, service animals ain't pets, you know what I'm saying? So I filled out my application. I checked the box saying that no, I don't have a pet, because I don't. I had a service animal, and I brought him to the showing agent and let her know and show her, hey, look, he registered. We good. So she was like, that's a service animal. So as long as your other paperwork come through, we good. So they run my paperwork. I got approved and everything like that. Keep in mind that I went to the showing agency. Well, the showing agent. The showing agent was showing the home for the owner, right? And like the real estate agent was the one who was doing all the paperwork for the homeowner, right? And so they called me back shortly after, hey, everything checked out, you approved and all that other stuff, which humbly I knew, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, okay, good. So what's next? And then it was like, okay, you can move in on this day and all this other little stuff like that, and X, Y, and Z. And I was like, okay. Now, mind you, I want to say this, okay? Like I said before, I acknowledge God in all my ways. So I prayed this prayer, and I want to warn you, do not pray this prayer if you're not ready to see what God gonna do after that, okay? So I prayed this prayer before I even got approved, or before I even found that house. I said, God, I ask that you provide me with the perfect place for me and my daughter. You know what I desire, with my disability. I don't really like being around people. I love my privacy and everything of this nature. I said, Lord God, provide me the perfect house that you want me to be in, and things like that along that nature. And I don't ask God for much, because he's already done a lot. But, I was very specific in that prayer as far as what I wanted and, what I needed to be comfortable. So I was like, let your will be done. Anything you don't want me to have, Lord God, don't give it to me. Stand in the way or whatever. So moving forward, okay, I got approved and everything. I signed my lease or whatever like that. And they gave me my the homeowner's contact information. And quite naturally, I introduced myself. I was like, what's up? In a proper way. I was like, hey, how you doing? This is Chelsea. I want to tell you thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to have the house and all that other stuff. And I was like, I know you said that on your application you didn't want pets, but, I appreciate you letting me and my service animal stay in this home. And she was like, wait, service animal? And I was like, yes, ma'am. And I was like, I told him during the application process that I'm disabled, had a service animal. Did they not inform you? And she was like, oh, but before she said all this, she was like, oh yeah. I was like, thank you for the opportunity. She was like, oh, you're gonna love me and everything like that. And I was like, you're gonna love me too and everything like that. And like after I said that, what I said about my dog, she was like, oh no, they didn't tell me that. And she was like, well, let me get back to you tomorrow. No, she said that the real estate agent was gonna get back to me tomorrow. This is after I got approved, after I signed my lease, after I paid my money now. Okay. And then I went to introduce myself to the lady, telling her thank you. And when I told her about Fat Daddy, which is that dog y'all see on my page, then she was like, oh no, they didn't tell me that. So the following day, they ended up sending me my money back, saying that I can't get the house. Here I am packing up all my stuff, getting ready to move to another house, and boom, out of nowhere they say I can't move. I'm like, man, are you kidding me? Now, I remember the prayers that I was saying, and I remember I asked God to not give me nothing that he don't want me to have. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know why God did this. You know what I'm saying? I don't know whether it was the area, maybe it was the neighbors. It was a predominantly neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't know, honestly, why God did that. But I do know in the Bible, in Romans chapter 8 verse 28, it says, and we know that all things work together for the good that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose, right? And then it also says, what shall we then say to those things? If God be for us, who be against us, right? And so I was remember these scriptures and everything like that, and I still had faith, saying, God, there's a reason why you did this, and you know, you in control. I trust you. So furthermore, I know the law, you know what I'm saying? I have quite a few important people in my life. So, you know, we called them up. Well, I called them up, and, you know, we made some arrangements, and, you know, I filed my lawsuit. Long story short, I ended up suing due to being discriminated against based on my disability, because clearly that's what it was, and there was plain proof of, you know, what happened. And so I say all that to say this. Because I was obedient, and because God searched my heart when he seen those things happening, you know, he got the glory out of it. And what he ended up doing was giving me a house I ended up liking more. I ended up finding a house that I liked more than the house that I originally was going to get. This house here is surrounded by trees. It has my own lake. You know, I love it. I'm very calm and peaceful out here. And I just would have probably wanted this house over that house, but I just never seen this house until God did what he did. Also, like my dog ended up passing away, and I was a good mama to him. Anybody that know me and know that dog, if you ain't never watched any of my videos before this, everybody know I was a good mama to that dog. And so, yeah, that was a part of the plan as well. Even though he passed away due to natural causes, God wanted me to rely on him for everything. I got a bit attached to that dog and everything like that, and God is a jealous God. I'm not saying that that's why it happened, but after my puppy passed away, I stopped smoking. I stopped smoking and stopped, you know, a lot of bad habits that I had in my life, and wanted to, you know, give my life to God and also focus on him, and, you know, let him provide all my needs. So he ended up getting the glory out of it. I'm more spiritually aligned in what's meant to be with the breeder that I got my dog from gave me $5,000 back because of my dog passing. So that's even more money that I got from my dog passing away. So that's the story of my dog and how my dead dog got me thousands of dollars. You know, how my dead dog got me thousands of dollars. So I say all that to say this. Make sure when you praying to God, make sure you're ready for his response. And if you acknowledge God in all your ways, he going to direct your path. And though you may not understand why things go the way it goes, just understand that God may have to undo some things in order for him to do the things that he want to do in your life. Sometimes you can be expecting something or wanting something, and you don't see what he has for you, which may be greater. So That's the moral of this story. I'm hoping somebody, at least one person, got something out of that. Trust God. Don't worry about what's going on right now. God is always in control, and God is always in control. Love y'all. Bye.